Alright then, so first of all, this video is on a little theory that has happened since the inception of this character, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And you know what else this video is about?
What?
It is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Let's give it a let's give it a hand to our sponsor.
No. I wish. Actually, isn't like Raid Shadow Legends in almost every video at this point?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like the most they sponsor the most.
But okay. So Sirius Romani Conti, the Sin Archbishop of Wrath. Before we can go into this theory, I must say the anime does an actual hell of a job just showing us how crazy, well, showing us her insanity, I guess, if that's one word to put it. Because, my god, Lee, a lot of the things she does still leaves me off guard, even though I should have been aware of things that happen. Like, yeeting off
That
a kid.
Subaru death in the tower was crazy.
Dude, yeeting off a kid. Who would have guessed it? And yeah, the tower stuff. Dude, I didn't...
I don't remember it being that gory.
Yeah, I don't remember that being, like, as gory or as crazy. I know he went mad. That was what the death was. Unless... I don't know. Maybe the light novel has it different. Maybe it's way more brutal in the light novel. Which, if that's the case...
Even in the light novel, it wasn't as brutal.
Really? Then the anime just took the piss out of it, then. They said, let's... how do we make this...
He was still hung, but he wasn't like... It wasn't like... Damn.
My godly. They went to the uncensored route. But, okay. So, one thing that caught my attention in this episode was mainly in regards to Sirius and her interactions with Emilia. Even though in both the web novel and light novel, after reading through, she also acknowledges his Beatrice and also has like anger towards her as well. But
yeah, that's gonna be next episode.
Okay. But what I wanted to pin down is what I've seen now. Now that anime onlys are sort of starting to pick this up, is Sirius Fortuna. Now, obviously, there's no spoilers on this because we don't. What would you call it? In the spoiler section of things, even we don't know if that's even the case. There are hints towards it being it, but let's go off of what we've seen. So far in this one, looking at her looks, she has the same colored eyes, or they look similar to what Emilia's are and Fortuna's. She has the same colored hair as Fortuna, just longer. But, I mean, last I remembered, Fortuna got killed by Betelgeuse. So...
But hey, that's just a theory.
Endor
was there. She could have done some vainglory fuckery. Who knows? We don't.
Yeah, she could just say, you're not dead anymore, or you didn't die, or some other... I mean, she was able to teleport Regulus and just say, you weren't ever here, and then everything just was undone.
Yeah.
So, I don't doubt...
Tappy is gatekeeping the info from us. What a dick.
Throughout the episode, I mean, the only thing that got my attention was just her hatred calling Emilia a homewrecker and all these other words. And then in the web novel, she calls her a half-devil whore, which, I mean, okay. That's one step going towards it. And then half-demon in, like, the light novel. And then this one, I mean, I don't think she goes as crazy on insulting Emilia. Well, no, she calls her a half-devil. So we have half-devil whore, and half-demon. So she still is going by what everyone kind of calls Emilia, because she resembles Satella, which is a whole can of worms of its own. But if this is Fortuna, isn't it a tragic that Sirius is insulting her adopted daughter at this point?
Yes, so sad.
Now, the cases that now one would bring up, if this was indeed Fortuna, wouldn't Emilia be able to recognize it? I mean, here's the thing. I don't think she's able to. She's still kind of childlike minded, so I don't think she's able to recognize a lot of things. Not to mention, I mean, aside from the bandages, and even in that loop where she did met Betelgeuse, he wasn't even in his actual body. He was in one of the fingers. So there is some weirdness that Emilia's not encountering them directly per se.
Well, she does have a different voice.
Well, that's true. That's actually what everyone was kind of keeping an eye out, whether Sirius was gonna be voiced by Fortuna or by a different voice actress. But I think the anime has the knowledge to not do that, because that would just spark a whole different kind of conversation. Because let's be real, if they had the same voice, that would cause so many people to say, "This is it. It has to be it," and then watch it not even be it. Then it would feel like we've been baited. But going back to, I mean, her interaction with Emilia, the only way I can think of it would be it's more or less she's maybe seeing Pandora in some twisted way, similar to how Betelgeuse thought he was attacking Pandora, and it only revealed it was Fortuna. So maybe something twisted like that.
Or maybe like Pandora manipulated Capella to change her appearance.
That could be it too. I mean, we still haven't seen her, and I think we see her like what, an episode or two away.
I think like next episode. At least her voice.
Right, right. Because yeah, but man, they're really holding out on us on this, because a lot of it comes down to the meeting with between these two. Because everything, as mentioned in my review, everything was fine. She was acting very positive, very happy in every loop, even when Reinhardt was involved. It wasn't until Emilia comes in, and I laughed my ass off because I completely forgot she just completely attacks the second they see Sirius. And I forgot about that, so I was a bit dumbfounded for a second. And it's like, oh shit, already? And it's like, yeah. And then,
A bit befuddled, one could say.
and then after that, then she starts losing her ever-living mind. Yeah, because after that, like, Sirius is able to sniff her out and just starts completely losing her ever-living mind, and, well, harasses Emilia and then starts, like, attacking her. Well, no, Emilia attacks her, and then the fight kind of spirals out from there.
So technically, it was in self-defense, which means Sirius is innocent, and Emilia should be jailed forever, all eternity. Get rid of her. She doesn't deserve to rule the kingdom. The fuck is this? Sirius for royal candidate.
Imagine that. I wouldn't even doubt she'd be able to pull that off, considering her ability of just manipulating everyone into feeling whatever the hell they want to feel. Which is a whole different... Her authority is kind of odd. It's wrath, but if we compare hers with Minerva's, they're like so different. Unless we're just seeing... No, they have to be using a witch factor of sorts. But on the side note, the fighting was still pretty good. I think I'm impressed by seeing a character who can use chains, because we see her fight Reinhardt, which, let's be real, anyone who fights Reinhardt, I mean, they almost stand no chance on winning.
Yeah.
Unless it's Pride Subaru, then then he wins through a different method.
He still didn't win per se.
But he won in a whole different other method. But the fight with Emilia, we get to see her. I mean, the way Fortuna fights, whenever we saw her fighting against Regulus and even Pandora, it was definitely the same way like Emilia would fight. So using like fire magic, even though it's weird because it's ice looking.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that their abilities match each other, but then again, we didn't see enough of Fortuna to essentially gauge that they're fighting around the same way. The only real things that I can catch on is in volume 16, where you have the cover of Betelgeuse and Fortuna. I mean, they are awfully close. I mean, well, Sirius is awfully close with Betelgeuse, which is also similar to how, in a sense, Fortuna was close to Betelgeuse. But the only difference you could say is, I mean, Sirius is completely obsessed with him, and Fortuna, I wouldn't say she's obsessed with Betelgeuse, but I mean, she does love him.
Should have been me.
So I mean, there are some connections. Then I mean, there's also the tarot cards. I believe that's what.
Oh yeah, that.
And how it's either the
The
ending or
opening?
the opening. How weird that connection is, and I mean that has to be some kind of a signal, because why would they look almost the same unless it's like I said, unless Tepe is just throwing us into a world ride just to trick us all in the end. Which I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. I think the only weird thing that I ever caught on was her basically, because this was a little bit, I guess, altered in the anime, because I know for sure when she acknowledges his Emilia and starts insulting, well, Emilia, both the web novel and light novel also acknowledge Beatrice to a small degree. Because from what I can see here in the web novel, Sirius is basically saying if Beatrice is testing her love for Betelgeuse, and then she goes to back to Emilia and saying that she stole Betelgeuse from her, which I'm kind of wondering. Does the Witch Cult just know that the Emilia camp took down Betelgeuse? Do they
Yeah.
have no information other than just, oh, it was the witch, the half demons camp that took them down?
I'm pretty sure. They like the majority of the world only knows that like the Emilia camp took down Sloth, or, like aided in the taking down of Sloth.
Yeah, because I mean, if they knew that it was a combination of Subaru and Julius, I would imagine that Sirius would have immediately targeted Subaru.
Well, I mean, it's not like Subaru's like recognizable either.
That's true. I don't know, because in one translation, he's called a Moppet Mage for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, but that's only when he specifically says that he is Subaru Natsuki. People
Right.
don't like recognize him like, oh, that's Subaru Natsuki. No, they just see a random guy.
Right, because he looks so random. He looks so civilian like.
Yeah.
That is fair. Then again, hmm. That was a translation error, if I'm not mistaken, in episode 2. Because I know
Yeah.
she mentioned Subaru, but then it's like, wait a minute, she didn't even hear his name, so how did she know it was Subaru?
Yeah, that's a translation error. Little typo. A little oopsie. A fucky wucky, if you will.
A second one, which by the way, did you like make an actual got into an article because you called it
Yep.
out?
Mm-hmm.
Still, congrats. That's one hell of an accomplishment. You were the one to help correct the issues of the first episode, and yet
Well,
they
no,
still
no, it was JREC.
JRX.
I just reported on the change that was made because of him.
I see. Still funny that you made the you made the article too.
Mm-hmm.
Backtracking to Sirius, I can't really tell. Even in future events past this point, there's nothing that indicates that she is Fortuna. She does mention a specific person is possibly Pride, only to eventually kind of say never mind to that idea, which that within itself is interesting. But even when she's like after the events of Arc 5, she kind of doesn't really do much to the story aside from like side stories related to the Reinhard and Felt camp. Well, the Felt camp to be more precise.
I hope Tape changes his mind and he actually starts writing witch cult side stories.
What would they be doing? I would imagine
I
Regulus.
don't know. That's the point. I don't know what they would be doing. That's why I need the side stories to find out.
Do you really want a Regulus side story? I almost feel like it would just
Yes.
be.
Yes.
Dude, imagine.
I want to see him take. I want to see him take down that one city.
Oh, that's right. He did took down. What was the reason for him taking down that
Oh
city?
right, it was because of like there was rumors of a witch going around there in that city, and so like and because the witch cult doesn't like other witches being like known or popular, he decided to like just fuck it up.
Hmm. That goes with one of the cut contents from when Puck mentioned the other witches and Betelgeuse kind of freaks the fuck out and berates him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would be cool. Just, I mean, seeing it from maybe not the witch cult's perspective, because that would mean we need them as a protagonist. And I'd rather not hear Regulus's like 10 pages of just him ranting about some random shit.
Now, what do you mean that's peak?
How much you
No, but
want
I need like the other like the Sin Archbishops like interacting with each other. That's always great to read.
what if we get a Capella side story of her, Elsa, and Mei Lee? Because that would go.
Peak, peak.
we will finally get to see Elsa because she
Yes, please. Top it. Give me it. I'm on my hands and knees begging.
I can't believe I actually do miss that crazy bow hunter. Dude, imagine if she was still alive. She would be such a nuisance to deal with again.
I mean, like, hopefully they would have, captured her like Melee.
Yeah, and then who else would it be? A Sirius? I mean, the only thing I can think of her would be what if we get a side story of her hearing the news that Betelgeuse died? We can kind of hear her kind of exploding with wrath, going through
Yeah.
all 5 stages of grief except the last one of acceptance.
She
Rather than
just cycles through them again and again, the first 4 stages.
yeah, she just cycles through them over and over. Cause once she kind of senses the sloth witch factor into Subaru, that's when she kind of starts trying to what was it, get with him or try to, what's the right term for it? Because I'm kind of blanking out.
Of what?
Once she figures out that Subaru has the sloth witch factor, because I'm trying to remember 100% what happens when, because she does realize it. Right, she does think that Betelgeuse Subaru is Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't blame her because I mean the whole fingers thing, so it makes sense. But man, I can't wait when they animate that. It's gonna be, because doesn't she also lick his eye or attempts to?
That's later.
Yeah, because she does that later.
Like husband, like wife.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, she already did it because Subaru and
Yeah, but
that.
specifically to Subaru.
Yeah, that's true. But still, Subaru still felt it through
I think it's like always
Roosevelt.
the same eye as well.
Uh,
Always the left eye.
yeah, I think it was the left eye too for with Betelgeuse too. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna investigate that.
Yeah, I remember.
Nah, you're right. It had been the man. That's weird. I mean, yeah, that's another connection. They're doing the same thing. Well, I wouldn't say connection to Fortuna,
Fortuna,
but
but
a connection that she's just as crazy as Battlegeuse. Well, actually, she's always been crazy, but I don't know. I feel like if it's really her, because there was also a mention I saw in one of the random comments from like the Crunchyroll YouTube that Fortuna kind of disappears at some point during after Emilia kind of
yeah,
just freaks the fuck out.
yeah, we
And
never see her corpse.
yeah, that's true. I mean, that is suspicious. And if I've learned anything from fucking Star Wars, if there's no corpse, you can't really count them as dead.
I think you mean anime in general.
Well, that too. Anime has also that where if you don't see a body and they don't outright say, well, even if they outright say they're dead, sometimes they just decide to be funny and be like, oh, they didn't die because of X reason.
Also, from we can see that for a Sirius, like her burns, they don't really look like fire burns. They look like freezer burns,
Hmm. You
as
make
if
a
she was frozen.
you make a
Like
point.
with Fortuna, and her body was taken during the 100 period time.
I mean, what would Pandora want to do with this Fortuna? Maybe you know what? I can almost guarantee because we don't know what exactly she said to Betelgeuse to turn him to just have him follow her and him going well, completely fucking insane.
Yeah.
But it could be something similar where if this is the case, she could have just said something, manipulated his memories or something around those lines, and bada bing, bada boom, we got a Sirius. Because she could have just had her name be changed, but then the question would be, why would she change her name? Because Betelgeuse has always been, well, Betelgeuse.
Well, isn't it like well, he called himself Goose.
Right. Well, I thought that was a nickname, though.
Who knows? It's not really confirmed.
That's true. We don't really know if even Betelgeuse is his real name, or well, outside of the
Like,
witch's cult. Because if it's not, then that's pretty big. If
yeah.
because now I'm thinking. I mean, actually, yeah. What if its name is Goose and then he just chose the name Betelgeuse?
Yeah.
That's
Also,
a
you think maybe it's the reason why Pandora chose for Fortuna would be because like she was compatible with the Wrath Witch Factor?
could be. Imagine this. Imagine if she recovers Fortuna, she comes like back into like consciousness after recovering, and Pandora does something like say that I don't know, Emilia died or something around the line to just have Fortuna be in such a wrathful state that the Wrath Witch factor is able to be compatible.
Mm.
And then that's how she's able to be with the Witch factor. Because we know that the Betelgeuse was not compatible with Sloth and he forced it into him.
Yeah.
And I mean, I believe Subaru, is he compatible with Sloth? Because
No. You have to. Echidna had to like help him be more compatible with it.
right. Because because he starts gaining other witch factors later on. So I'm kind of thinking, which one would he be the most compatible? I mean, I guess you could say Pride, but
No, Envy.
Envy. I mean, I almost feel like that's because of Satella's influence more than I would.
No, what? And Greed actually. Actually, it's Greed.
Yeah, because isn't he like a bit greedy? In I mean, can you even be positively greedy, like in a positive way? Can you use a?
Yeah, taking on the burden. Like like if you you're greedy to to help others. Like you want to feel like your worth, so you take on as much as you can.
You know
Bam. Greed.
what? We're trying to make a way for a sin to be used for good. That's that's funny. But okay, so if okay, interesting. Because I think the only one, the only weird one is gluttony being able to be used between three people.
Yeah. Something weird happened. Who knows? Flugel was having some fun and accidentally created that. That's my theory.
I wouldn't doubt that. He just said, "Hey, lol, let's see what happens if I do this."
I mean, like he somehow figured out how to put witch factors inside of a box. So like, what does he know? How did he figure that out?
I mean, he's such a interesting character because we know almost nothing about him aside from like the basic thing that most characters know about him. Though, then well, there's two theories going around with Subaru. Subaru is either Flugo or Subaru is Owl, which, I mean, if Subaru is Flugel, that's crazy because that involves time travel shenanigans.
Or Subaru could be like a reincarnation of Flugel.
What if Flugel ended up parallel, like reverse isekai'd into Earth, died, and then was reincarnated as Subaru? I mean,
I feel like we're getting off topic. Not gonna
we
lie.
are getting off topic. At this point, it's just random discussion on random things from ReZero. But I don't know. What are your conclusions to Sirius, aside from whether you'll you smash or pass? Because
Smash.
we all know Sirius is literally a hottie, quite literally in the literal sense. Consider she can burn us all to hell at this point with her flames if we piss her off enough. Actually, how do you piss her off if you're not Emilia? Just say you killed Betelgeuse. I think that might trigger her. But no, I mean, aside from the very little conclusion we have of Sirius, I think she could be Fortuna, but if she is, I doubt she can return back to normal without like two different key factors. One, having some kind of a character that can mess with memories, because I almost think her memories have been completely altered, similar to how Emilia's memories were also altered to where Pandora doesn't like exist, and then they were fixed because of the trials. Or literally Pandora would have to be saying to her, "You can go back to being Fortuna now." Which I doubt she will ever do that because I mean, unless she's just doing it for the hell of it. Uh,
Just to
uh
fuck with Emilia.
yeah, just be like, Sirius is dying, and then she's like, "You can go back to Fortuna," just to be like, "You killed your own mother, again, or not again." Well, I guess you could say that considering
Or
that.
she could try and make a play like hey, Sirius is Fortuna. I'll turn her back into Fortuna if you open the seal. Sound like a deal?
Oh shit! I didn't think of that. I forgot about the seal. That could be one way of getting Emilia to open the seal. Well, no, because she keeps that promise no matter what. But I don't know. You know what? It might happen. And the only reason I think this is because Subaru always breaks his promises. And he always says it is justified because he's doing it for the people he cares about. What if that rubs into Emilia and she breaks that one big promise she made to Fortuna just so she can save her mother? You know what? We might be onto something. Then again, Tappei could just, like I said, do whatever the hell he wants just to make a twist and turn for story reasons, to fuck with the community, or a combination of both.
He can do whatever he wants because I'm sure it'll be peak no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. I think he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Does he make the tarot cards though? I'm curious. I think he does. No.
I think he just like says what to make them. Like he directs them. Like he describes what should be on them, and then an artist draws that.
Yeah, because the only thing I can say is the fact that Fortuna's and Betelgeuse's like together tarot card is too similar to like the opening of Sirius, where there's all the chains and everything. It might be a metaphor to how she's chained. She'll always be chained with Betelgeuse in some way or form.
Who knows? Or maybe they're like a metaphor for her mind being imprisoned.
Being imprisoned to where, unless it's Betelgeuse related, she doesn't care about anything. Well, actually, I mean, doesn't she hate Satella? Like, because they're supposed to be worshiping the Witch of Envy. Wouldn't she hate?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she got freaked out on Emilia, and she was able to sniff her out. Kind of wonder what's her thoughts on. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe we do need some witch side story or witch cultist side stories just to see what they think about the Witch of Envy and all that.
Exactly.
You know what? In one whole video, you convinced me that this is the case.
Mm-hmm. Like ReZero is a 10 out of 10 series, but Toppy could elevate it to an 11 out of 10 if he just wrote those side stories.
Didn't he wrote like a side story or a non-canon one?
Well, he wrote like one for the premiere of season 3. He wrote like a short side stories about based on like what each of the Sin Archbishops were doing before entering Prestella.
What was everyone doing? Now I'm curious. I mean, I wouldn't doubt Regulus is just looking for another
Well,
wife.
they weren't really doing anything like important, just like, just being normal witch cultists going into the city, like sneaking in, or whatever.
Which one would be the most interesting sneaking in? I think it'd be Capella. Actually,
I
no.
mean, she could just, your shapeshift. Not that hard.
Yeah, but who would she shapeshift into?
I don't know, someone's mom.
Actually, who would be the hardest one to enter? Because Regulus literally looks like a normal dude too. Like you really wouldn't think about him.
Probably, they would be Sirius.
Back to Sirius. She has all the bandages.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Are you okay?" It's like, well, actually, her authority would actually let her get in. Now that I think about it, it wouldn't be that hard. Cause
Maybe.
isn't it just knowing of her presence is how she's able to just control you? Because
Yeah.
I remember in the light novel, Reinhardt even mentioned that he's barely able to like resist her authority. I have to find that exact quote, but I am aware that even Reinhardt has trouble with specific authorities.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, authorities always trump over divine protections.
Doesn't that make Subaru like way more of a threat than most people realize?
Sure, I guess.
I mean, he has the sloth witch factor, so that means that he trumps a few divine protections. I mean, unless we're talking about Reinhardt. Reinhardt is a bit busted. Actually, any talk of Reinhardt, the only interesting thing about him is gonna be the family drama. That's the only interesting thing. Otherwise, dude is way too
Hey,
overpowered for anything else.
read the Feldkamp side stories. Do
No,
it.
no,
Do it now.
okay. Let me rephrase that because I'm doing
Read
Reinhardt.
A Riot in Flanders. It is
No,
peak.
okay. I meant in the sense of fighting, Reinhardt is just broken. But in terms of personal interactions, it's pretty peak.
Okay.
I am clarifying this because I realized the fuck
But
up I
still,
did.
read it.
I will. I'll let you know what I think. But to wrap it up, what percentage would you give it that it's possible where Fortuna could be serious and we could be on a roller coaster of events?
95.
95? I give it 75. I still think it could be the case with a lot of circumstantial evidence being very weird. But until there's something that's some quote that could be said that was from Fortuna or something, I don't know. I just need something big that will get me like this is
Plus,
way.
I'm also going off like for the story. What would be the most impactful?
I mean, what? The only thing I would have said is if Sirius was like legit Emilia's mom, but then I thought to myself, no, because she's human. Unless she has the
I
same.
thought she was human, not.
No. I mean, like if we're going with Emilia's mom being serious, like her biological mom.
No, I was making a joke because you pronounced it the way with like a K.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know what a cumin is, but
Human. Yeah, how did I fuck that up? A human. And then I'm like, I don't know. Pandora could literally say you don't age, and Pandora's too wild of a card to really say anything. Any theory about her would just turn into, well, she can do whatever she wants because we don't know the limitations of her random ass authority. But I would, if like you said, what would be the biggest impact of like to Emilia as a character if Sirius was Fortuna? If all these insults, if all this fighting is just between family members who probably don't even realize they're fighting their family members. For all we know, Fortuna thinks. I mean, well, yeah, I guess Fortuna / Sirius thinks she's fighting Pandora, and Emilia clearly doesn't recognize Sirius as Fortuna, so she's fighting a witch cultist, a Sin Archbishop. So, I mean, the level of tragedy there, I wouldn't doubt it from Tape to just add another level of tragedy. But let's keep in mind, he likes to protect Emilia a lot more than anything else.
I mean, like protect her from like gruesome deaths. That's about it. He doesn't mind like breaking her soul, as we see in Arc 4.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, we had Yandere Emilia, so you know what? Fair enough. I concede on that point. But yeah, you know what? 80%. 80% sure it's Fortuna. So it's still high on the list. It's just there's just too many things that are way too close to being Fortuna. The only difference would be like maybe their fighting styles, the way they maybe interact with characters, because I mean that's just differently. But they both love Betelgeuse differently, but it's still the same thing. They both have some connection to Emilia, whether that be a nurturing, caring adopted mother or a completely envious woman who wants to kill her because she lost Betelgeuse to her, quote unquote. I guess that's really it. It's just Betelgeuse's connection. Man,
Yeah.
even when dead, this dude still affects the story.
Yep. That's why he's peak. Best villain.
Best villain of ReZero.
Not the best antagonist.
Who would be the best antagonist?
Todd Fang.
You know what? I can't disagree. This dude is a menace. Can't wait for the anime to eventually get to this, this wonderful man, crazy, wonderful man.